Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakakadash, and I want to say Shalom to Yakmanakwa out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And this is part 3 of 4 surefire ways to reveal a false prophet. Okay, and this is a series that I started yesterday, and I got 2 parts of it done yesterday. The first part was they don't use the true names. Okay, the second part was their words don't match scripture. So again, if you haven't seen those are probably the better place to start. But again, you can watch this in any order because these are all going to be common identifiers and common characteristics that these false prophets are going to have, right? And the big one, like, you know, and really I did put it in order. The big one, the first one, is that they're not using the names. All right, if they're not calling upon Yahweh, Shmeal Shai, boom, write them off, right? And then on top of that, once you find out, like, okay, well, they are using the name Yahweh, Shmeal Shai. All right, well, they're using Yahweh, Shmeal Shai, but now they're saying, oh, Yahweh Shai made everything clean. As long as you pray over it, you can even eat pork, and you can pray over pork to Yahweh, Shmeal Shai. If they're saying that, their words don't match scripture. Wrong. Okay, false prophet. All right, that's that same situation that happened with that SOWY, whatever it was. The guy that was calling himself King David. All right, he and another one that we're going to be talking about today is good for him. All right, the prophecies they speak of don't come true, and one of the things he was saying. And I'll actually go see if I can find him. One of the things he was saying was that, in April, the world's going to end, and you're going to have to buy some property in Colorado because the world's going to split in half. He was doing all that bullshit. It was a racket, all right? And so, while number 1 didn't apply to him because he was using the true names, 2, 3, 4 all applied to him, all right? Just not number 1. So, again, if one of these is a thing, they're probably, if say they're using the true names, but they're doing something that doesn't match scripture. Their words don't match scripture. Okay, well, that's a sign. All right, say they're using the true names. Their words do match scriptures, but they're walking weirdly. All right, and they're the way that they're acting, why the words that they say on the videos, on the lessons, are saying, the right things. They're not moving the right way. Okay, they're saying, we got to abstain from all appearances of evil, but then you see them at camp and they got a big old 9 on their hip, all right, or they got a big old Glock with an extendo on it, right? That's not moving the right way. Okay, they might be speaking according to Scripture, but are they moving according to Scripture from the best that you can tell? Okay, or they say something that's going to happen and it doesn't happen. Okay, so that's a couple different ways that you can tell. So today's is the prophecies they speak of don't come true. And you can see that we got one extra in there. I actually got that. I'll get it today. Deuteronomy 18 and 22. But we're going to really start with, this one has an extra because I messed up on yesterday's, and I had a one in a section that it shouldn't have been in. And when I took it out of that section, it left, a gap. I only had 2 scriptures. So I had to go and get another one, and that ended up with this category having 4. So, not the intended outcome that I wanted. Which means tomorrow they don't move the right way. I'll probably get an extra one because they're supposed to be 12. I don't want it to be 13 because, you got these people out here that, he specifically did 13, because it's an illuministic number. I assure you, brothers, I tell you no lie, that was not the case, all right? It was supposed to be 12 individual scriptures of 4 topics, but, the way it happened yesterday kind of throw us off course. But we got back on it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shmeal Shai. So starting this one up, the prophecies they speak of don't come true. So these guys are going to say something's going to happen, all right? The world's going to end in, April 20th of 2026, and then it doesn't happen, okay? That's a false prophecy, which would make them, by saying it, a false prophet, because they prophesied something that was false. They said, the world's going to crack in half, and Leviathan's gonna shoot out from the earth, and also the Kraken, and then here it is, nothing happened, and you can usually tell because a lot of the prophecies sound bugged the fuck out. All right, these false prophecies, they sound bugged out, and they don't match scripture. That's going back to number 2. All right, the prophecies that they say don't match Scripture. They say, oh, well, initially, the son's not coming back. The first thing that's actually going to happen is he's going to send back Adam and Eve, because they were the ones that started on the earth, and they're going to, sin entered into the world that way, so they're going to have sin come out of the world. What the fuck? And see, the first thing that's going to happen is California is actually going to be flooded completely, because the fault lines in Florida, and it's been going, or California, they've been going under and under. So on April 20th, there's going to be a big wave, a hurricane to come. What the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't match. That doesn't match Scripture. All right. That should be your first thing. Now, this guy's bugged out. And then once it doesn't happen, then you especially know, all right, because you should be able to identify before, these prophecies that they say are going to allegedly happen, that they're all full of shit. All right, before that King David guy, the guy falsely claiming himself to be King David, all right, the big fat, Bill Cosby, Fat Albert looking motherfucker, all right, he was saying, oh, all this stuff's going to happen. You got to look at it. All right, and see what's going to happen. In Colorado, you got to get your property. You got to get your property, because if you don't get your property, big lie. What the fuck are you talking about? You're bugged out. And we could also tell because he wasn't moving the right way, because he was eating pork. Again, all these things, all right? But number one didn't apply to him. He did use the true names, but his words were not matching Scripture. The prophecies that he spoke of did not come true, and he wasn't moving in the right way. Okay, so again, it's kind of like how in the Scriptures, for the biblical law, there's multiple identification characteristics. For example, for mammals, they gotta eat, they gotta chew the cud and be cloven-footed. If they chew the cud but they're not cloven-footed, they're unclean. If they're cloven-footed but they don't chew the cud, they're unclean. It's not just one or the other; it has to be both. So, in this case, it's not that it has to be all of it, but there's two defining characteristics, all right? And in the biblical dietary law, both of those, the law is that both of those have to add up. Now, for you to be a false prophet, this is different, all right? This isn't in the Bible. I mean, as far as it's not 4 surefire ways, it's not a chapter in the Bible, but using the Bible, as we have scriptures here, these are 4, surefire ways that you can use, okay? And these aren't all necessarily, you don't have to be every single one. You can be 1 or 2 of these. Okay, or you could be every single one of them. You could not use the name, and with that, you're teaching things that aren't to the Scripture, and you're prophesying false things, and then you're not moving the right way. Or you could just not be moving the right way, but other than that, seem like, you might be something. That's happened with ex members of GMS. All right, people that they're using the right names. Their words were, for the most part, matching the Scriptures. From what was on the outward, there might have been things that were going on behind scenes that nobody saw. And the prophecies that they were speaking of were the prophecies that are true, because they're, according to Scripture. But backwards, behind scene, they weren't moving right. They might have looked like they were even moving right, but they weren't. One of these things was happening behind scenes, behind closed doors. All right, that's what happened with the Boston reprobates. Okay? So again, you got to use these are just some tools, all right, in your toolbox to use. And, there's probably even more ways than this. These are just the ones that came to me. So let's start up with Deuteronomy 13:1. Right? Let's go and get it. Deuteronomy 13 and verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, this is going to happen, or this wondrous thing is going to happen, right? And the sign or wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your power proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your power with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your power, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. So, and that's going to happen, man. You're going to have some people that, there are such things as coincidences. Okay? And certain things. If I throw out a bunch of things, like, for example, a coincidence, like Sylvia Brown, all right, or Nostradamus. When I prophesy that, or not prophesy, I won't use that, but I predict, because I'm a fortune teller, I can see in the future, I predict that there's going to be at least 3 accidents in California. I predict that the president is going to have a major blunder and everyone's going to laugh at him. I predict that there's going to be a time come soon where the weather is going to be, it's going to seem like outside that it should be sunny, but it's actually going to be really cold. I predict that someone soon, one of you brothers or sisters that are watching this, your tire might blow out or need some air. It might not blow out, but you're going to need some air. I also predict that it might rain soon, or if not rain, it might snow soon. I'm also going to predict that gas is going to go up. I'm also going to predict, if I throw all these predictions out, something's bound to come true. There are all these blanket term. If I keep on throwing shit and throwing shit and throwing shit and throwing shit and throwing shit, and I predict that somewhere soon with you brothers and sisters that there's going to be construction work on your way to your job, or one of the or to pick up your kids, or one of the areas that you normally go. There's going to be a lot of construction work, and it's going to cause this grievance to you, and it's going to be there. See, anybody can do that, right? That's what Sylvia Brown did. Threw shit out and 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 threw shit out. And yeah, of course she was right about a couple of things, because you threw so much shit out. If I just spent the whole day, just making some shit up, yeah, some of that's probably going to come true. There's going to be a major mass shooting come soon, and it's going to be a white man that does it, and he's going to have brown hair, and 4 people are going to die, and 3 people are going to be injured. And someone's going to speak out. Yeah, sure. That's bound to happen. That's bound to happen. Right? So that's, and if this happens, you got to go and serve Jesus Christ. Right? If that happens, you can't go and serve Jesus Christ. Well, it happened though. It happened though. It happened though. It doesn't matter if it happened. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, it does not fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, it was bugged out. Of course, if you keep on throwing shit out, right? Well, I had a dream though. I had a dream that they're gonna open a new GameStop. Hey, and if they open that, we gotta go and serve Buddha, right? We gotta serve Buddha because that means he was right, because Buddha told me in a dream. Stupid, right? And if that gets you guys, that shows you weren't of the elect. If that gets you believe in that shit. That shows you. So that's what Deuteronomy 13:1 started. It don't matter what it is. Mind you, in the end days, we have a scripture about that coming soon, that there's going to be people that the Lord might give people the ability to perform minor miracles. Okay? And they're not going to be men of the Lord. They're going to be deceivers. Okay? But again, the Lord's going to allow that to, again, another test to see how down you are with Yahweh Shem Shai. Are you down with him, or are you down with the clown? Which one is it? So Deuteronomy 18:22. Let's get that one. It says, when a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing fall not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. It says, there's going to be a great calamity. The Lord sent me. And the Lord did not send him, as it says, in the name of the Lord, if the thing fall not and not come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, because the Lord didn't speak it. They're saying that the Lord spoke, but he didn't. Okay? And that thing doesn't come to pass. If it does come to pass, and it's not in the name of the Lord, don't worry about it. It's bullshit. If it doesn't come to pass, and it was, if it doesn't come to pass, and he was saying, oh, Yahweh Shem Shai said it, and it doesn't come to pass, then they're a false prophet. Okay? If they say it and it wasn't in the name of the Lord and it comes to pass, false prophet. If they say it in the name of the Lord and it doesn't come past, they're false prophet, not of the Lord. Okay? So, are they speaking in the name? No, ignore it. It doesn't matter if it came true. Are they speaking the name? Yes. Is what they said, did it come true? No, then they're a false prophet. Ignore it. All right? Let's get Jeremiah 14:14. I got to get closing up this soon. Jeremiah 14:14, it says, then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. There you go. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not, yet they say, sword and famine shall not come in this land, by sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. Oh, the sword and famine's not going to come. And there's all these false prophets out there that are actually saying that, oh, Yahushua, Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call him, he's not coming back to destroy this place. All those things are things of the past. Those have already happened. False prophet. False prophet. And how is he going to be destroyed? By Yahushua coming back and destroying his ass. That's how. All right? So, one more. Jeremiah 28:9. The prophet which prophesieth peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. So there's the one. When someone says, oh, in the name of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, there's going to be these camps and guillotines set up, and they're going to start herding people in that don't take the mark, and there's going to be the mark of the beast to be the RFID. When all those things come to true, all right, come to fruition, all right, then you're going to know that they were truly prophets, not false prophets. They were true prophets sent by Yahweh Shemiah Shai to warn you, and you just decided to ignore them, or you decided to believe them, whatever it happened to be. But that's the lesson, right? Little shorter one. 4 surefire ways to reveal a false prophet, number 3. So we got one more, all right, and that one's going to be they don't move right, and that's going to be the third and final one, unless maybe more will come to me, and there's going to be 7 surefire ways to reveal a false prophet. So Lord willing, that'd be great. So that's where we're going to close out. Lord willing, was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.